Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is October 21st, 2020, and this is episode 110, and it's also take 4. I'm really having a lot of trouble with this today, but hopefully I'll get through this one okay. All right, we're going to take a look at Thor, issue number 8 for Marvel. It's Donny Cates is the writer. We have guest artist Aaron Kuder working on this, or Cutter, I'm not sure how you say that. Let's take a look at the cover real quick. I want to mention too that this is a two-issue arc. This is the second issue of the two-issue arc. Looking at the cover, really nice cover. It's got kind of a triangular angled effect here. Nice work with the primary colors. A nice contrast using some complementary colors in there as well. And as you can see, Thor is chowing down. Well, the newest Thor out here, Adam Aziz, is getting beat up pretty good by this giant monster. Just want to mention, this scene absolutely does not take place in the book. There's no eating of a sandwich. There's no diner. There's no gigantic green monster. Okay, so just to let you know, I don't give this a recommend. It's more of a skip, okay, until the next issue. See what happens in issue 9. 10, issue 10, I think Nick Klein comes back, the regular artist, so I'm thinking there's a start of a new arc at that time. Maybe issue 9 is going to be a one-off. I'm just guessing. I'm just speculating at this time. I don't know for certain. But this was kind of a disappointment. The first issue kind of led up to something on this arc, Hammerfall, but and when the hammer did finally fall in issue 2, it's just not that impressive. Very little action, just kind of playing around, and then a little bit of a couple little small epiphanies to Thor at the end, and that's about it. We're also celebrating, or I should say, remembering Chadwick Boseman, his life there, and we miss him, and Marvel really seems to miss him, as you'll see later on in the book. Okay, real quick, you might want to freeze this. Here's a quick update of what happened in the first issue of the arc. It was mentioned, Hammerfall is the title of this arc, part 2 of 2. Donny Cates, Aaron Kuder, and Matt Wilson is on the colors. Now, what I don't like about, and DC's been doing this too, is they've been placing a lot of ads early on in the book, and not just on the inner cover like this, but like as soon as you get into it, there's an ad, and it just seems weird to me that they would place them right there. As the book starts, or the story starts out, we've got the kind of the Book of Kings for Asgard, and it's a special book that you can only read it if you're a king. That if you're not a king and you open it up, the pages appear blank. So the ink only appears to the kings of Asgard. And we have this nice little timeline of the different kings going on and being intrigued by the book and not being able to read it. And finally, as they get older, they are able to read it. Now, if you recall the latest version of Thor, he's got a rune on his chest now. And maybe he had it before, but I think it started with this arc, this latest rebirth at issue 1. Issue 1, Thor had thrown his hammer to the ground, or to the earth, I should say, and it had been recovered by this mechanic, this old guy, this old skinny guy, Adam Aziz, and he picked it up and became the latest version of Thor, and Iron Man flew in, and there's the media's around, they all want to take pictures of it, and Tony's actually got some kind of impulse, electric impulse feature on his suit that disables all the cameras and phones and such. So, and then he shoos everybody off. He just wants to talk to Adam, and Adam's like, well, I really don't know what happened. It just said pick it up, and I picked it up, and I'm turned into Thor. And then Thor comes down from Asgard looking all regal, and he's going to take the hammer back from Adam at this point, and Iron Man steps in and basically steals it from him and wants to fight Thor, And basically, here's the big shot for the book. As Iron Man uses the hammer on Thor. However, Thor does not retaliate, more than just kind of has his inner anger bring in the storm clouds and thunder and whatnot. And then we got this huge ad here for Eternals and Spider-Man. I mean, it's a double fold out. Crazy. But nothing like breaking up the story that's already kind of a weak story as it is. Yeah, so a lot of talking from here on out, basically. Nothing really earth-shattering, nothing really, to me, there's nothing, no real big setup coming, which was a disappointment. Adam gets a chance to fly with the hammer, and then he also has to learn how to land, and of course we miss Chadwick Boseman very much, and Marvel continues to miss him very, very greatly. And moving on, Adam learns how to land, and not so successfully. So there's a couple little jokes in here, nothing really super funny. Adam turns back into regular Adam, gives the hammer back to Thor, and Thor has his epiphany at this time as he thinks of some of the things people have said to him, both Iron Man and Adam, and he thinks about his past as Dr. Blake, and that's what his next step is. And the next issue is called Prey, as in nothing holy, but someone that's going to be someone's lunch. Okay, so that's the end of this. Nothing really too great, and that's kind of why I'm not giving it a recommend. Here's the issue for number 9, and you see Dr. Blake in the background. Not sure if it's just going to be a reckoning with Dr. Blake's and Thor, or if there's actually going to be some setup for the future. We'll have to wait and see. And because we miss Mr. Boseman so much, we get yet another mention of his passing. So there we have it. That is Thor number 8. So, like I mentioned before, I believe this is a skip unless you are a big fan of Thor or a super completist. I would not recommend getting issue 1 or 2 of this. Issue 1 had the phone number, Tony Stark's phone number on that, and I posted the video. It's getting a lot of traffic on that. So if you're interested in that, you could check that out. It's only 26 seconds, but it's getting a lot of looks. And so not a recommend, really, just a skip. And I appreciate you stopping by and listening to me. This is Indie Comics Jones. Please take the time to like, subscribe, dislike if you didn't like my video, and comment. And I'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. As always, this is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.